afternoon, everyone. My name is Jessica Munoz. I'm a medical student at The Ohio State College of Medicine. And I want to focus more on detention centers, and they're private. And so just, I think 2 weeks ago, a little 2-year-old was in ICE custody. She passed away from respiratory complications, something that is preventable. So I want to know, what can we do other than call our representatives to take action and demand that anybody who's in a detention center is treated like a human being?
What is it they do?
Yeah, I'm going to take a stab at this because we are, I think I can speak for all three of us, and many members of Congress, both bipartisan, that are incredibly disturbed and upset, which is, now I'll just speak for myself, any effort to continue to do long-term detention or incarceration of children with their families is a non-starter for me. But this is a place where I've been really thinking as a governor, because we're having trouble getting the White House to understand and Homeland Security to pay attention to what's going on in private detention. I would also tell you I'm disturbed by what's going on in the public and Homeland Security detention. I think all three of us have gone to the foster care environments, the private detention facilities, and been right at the border where we take custody or detain someone temporarily until they're moved. And I think probably all three of us have seen things we were not happy about. All right, and I asked a question at one of the foster facilities about health care, about access, and I wanted a list of the most common referred or prescribed drugs. And at the time, I was actually looking for how many infections do we have and are we treating, right? I was looking for antibiotics. I had no idea that we would find out just a couple of weeks after I asked that question that we are now using chemical restraints, right, and injecting against individuals' will, including children with psychotropic drugs. And I am incredibly concerned. So that's what we're here. Governors, I think, now require new licensure for any of these facilities in their states. And they can take an active, independent role. And even if someone says, well, look, it's a federal issue, it's federal funds, if we don't allow you, we're the landlords, we don't allow you to operate there, you've got trouble. And I think there's going to be a coalition, bipartisan governors, that if Congress doesn't get to this in a meaningful way, with meaningful oversight and review, and being very clear about the problems and dangers here, this is a country I don't recognize in this space, about how we're treating families and children, then I think you're going to see governors, and if I'm lucky enough to be elected, including me, that begin to do very specific things right in our states and neighboring states.
So bottom line, go ahead and try to raise awareness with your state and local leaders who may oversee these areas of the country where the facilities are.
Western governors.
How about oversight at every level? You know, local, state, and federal oversight. We need to hold hearings and understand this more. The state needs to have the ability to shut facilities down if they're not up to code. And locals need to play a role if it's on local land, meaning local statutes as well. You know, just because the federal government is in this operation doesn't mean that every other layer of government, you know, is off the hook and has no responsibility.
That's right.
So every level of government, we need oversight. And unfortunately, in the appropriations process this year, the answer some House Republicans had was, well, we'll just eliminate that provision. We'll just allow, get rid of the state standards, so now they all fall under the federal umbrella, which is their license to just, you know, throw up more facilities.
And that's why these facilities are on federal property.
Currently.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And so we need oversight at every level. And so that's why it isn't just enough to call your elected member of Congress. We need to call governor's offices and state legislators as well to let them know they have a role to play in the future of these facilities.
Right, and just as another example about what states can do, just not that I've been thinking about this, So on federal land, maybe I've got limited opportunity, but I license every single doctor. I license every single pharmacist. I license every single contractor who provides healthcare services. You don't meet these standards, you don't let me have oversight directly, you don't get to have that license, you can't accept that contract. I decide every reimbursement. You want it? Then you got to come through us. And so there's a lot more we can be doing And we're going to need you to continue to raise awareness. And you have many members, including, I want to make that really clear, there are bipartisan, or many members on both sides, who find what's occurring in detention and making that as broad as possible appalling. And I'm embarrassed to state, but I'm going to because I think it's true. I don't think that this is entirely been going on in just this administration. I will say this, and I might have a colleague disagree with me. I think it's more purposeful in this administration, and I think it is more callous in this administration. But I don't think we've been paying attention to what we do in this country with individuals in detention and in a foster environment for children and all these unaccompanied minors in many administrations.
That's an important point, that this is not unique to the Trump administration. This was going on well before the Trump administration.
But I do think the attitude in this administration bears noting is completely different.
Yeah.
And that I wanted to make sure I said both.
Just one other thing I would add. Jessica, there's a lot of groups that are helping in this fight and that are actually engaging on the ground and providing support. The ones I'm most familiar with are like Catholic Relief Services and volunteering your time and energy because they do need more manpower, they do need more help, not only financial resources, but they are there trying to care for people, and they need more assistance, and that is something that's important. To the gentleman earlier's question, the other ally that we have in this fight are starting to become governors, because governors are realizing, and I'm not talking about just on the detention issue, but on the broader DACA conversation, because they realize it's a workforce challenge, and when you have 97% of men and women in the DACA category, DACA eligible, 97% are in school or working. That's a population that you need to continue to engage into the workforce, and our governors are starting to hear that, and they're adding back their voices to this administration.
Let's squeeze in one final